Welcome to Punky's World. This is going to be a heart-to-heart. From the heart. That's what I call these. From the heart. How do I start? You know, about 22 months ago now, right? October, November, December. 21 months ago now, my mother passed away, and I was left completely on my own. Evidently, a lot of people did not think that I could do it, and I proved them all wrong. Gotta figure out what's wrong with this. And I started going down to the Historical Society to a few events, and I started really liking it. The ladies were so welcoming, and so I decided to join. It's been about a year. Actually, it's been a year, and I don't regret the decision whatsoever. I'm about to redo my membership. It's over there on the thing. All of the ladies have been amazing to me. The first year, I had a lot of, I had a couple of vacations the first summer, but I also had a lot of stuff to do pertaining to my mother's death, accounts and just stuff. You don't realize how much there is to do after someone dies. And then we couldn't have the celebration of life until the summer. So last summer was filled up with that stuff. So around September, I started going to the Historical Society, to their events, and in October, at Oktoberfest, I'm pretty sure that's when it was. It might have been a couple weeks later, it might have been at the Halloween one. But either way, I joined. I started volunteering a couple of days a week, and I was made head of research and development. I'm also in charge of the antique toy display. Toy department is mine. And they've all been amazing. Dealing with I'm trying to explain it. With my disability, understanding that sometimes I go way off the track and they have to pull the train back on the tracks, and they have no problem doing that in the nicest, kindest way. And I really believe that the Lord brought me there at that time, to be with those women that he knew were a perfect fit for me, for my challenges. And I can't thank Lori, Jean, Ursula, Susan, Shirley Cooney, Shirley Mazinski, Judy Barlow, Martha, enough. Oh, and of course, Carly Ucino. But I've known her my whole life, so. for their kindness, for their patience. The patience that they have with me is amazing, and I'm so grateful for that. And I'm doing something that maybe in a different way than my mother had imagined, but something my mother always wanted to do, which was be some kind of researcher. You know, and I feel like I'm living what she always wanted. So in heaven, she can kind of live vicariously, I hope, and be so proud of what I'm doing. And I'm very, very blessed by God to have them. And I want them to know that. I want them to know how much I appreciate what they do for me, their patience, their kindness. It means the absolute world to me. As someone who hasn't seen a lot of that, you know, growing up in this town, from other children or adults growing up in this town, it means the world to me, because this town is a huge part of me, even though it was absolutely rotten to me in school. My grandmother was born in this town. I was raised here. This is my history. My third great grandparents lived and died here. My great grandfather was on the fire department here and worked for Wallace's Lumber. You know, I'm wondering if Lori might have access to the pictures that they said that they had, or if she knows some, because I know she's related to them. I'll have to ask her, because they said they thought they might have pictures of my great grandfather, which would be amazing. I'm being given responsibilities, and I take those so seriously. Not only my research and development, but the responsibility of inventorying the display toys, selling the online items, working the yard sale and carrying the money around, which was amazing. And I take the trust that other people put in me very seriously. I try to be the most trustworthy person I can possibly be. You won't find a more honest person. And, you know, when I walk in there and I see parts of my own history right away. I walk in and there's the clock that controlled the clock my father punched in on every day of his life, you know, and every day of mine, literally. So, yeah, I just think that's so special. And that one over there is going to be in there. That's a clock that they gave for their longest employee, because my father worked there the longest when it became Guilford, because he was the first person hired back. There used to be catalog that they used to get Christmas presents out of, and where you could pick from depended on how long you worked there. He worked there the longest, and he picked that. And that's been hanging on the wall for decades now. And I'm sorry, I got a sore on my tongue. I gotta rinse my mouth. That's why I got the nystatin. Yeah. And my father's Gipper Award from 1992. Both of those things are going to the Historical Society. If anything happens to me, I just want everyone to know that. Not that I'm planning on anything happening to me for decades. I hope. Many decades. So. I actually got a letter from President Biden that I'm looking at here that I might also donate. Just because it's something from a member, and hopefully by then I'll be a very long-term member. And I have the opportunity, after I pay for my second year, to potentially get on the board of directors, which is amazing. Amazing. To think of having the responsibility to vote is just, it blows my mind, you know? And if the Lord, if it's in His will, it will happen. You know, I try to remind myself, thy will, not my will. All I had to do was ask, you know, and it's in the minutes. They know that I'm interested in the vacancy. So, like I said, His will, not mine. If He puts it on their hearts, great. If He doesn't, there's a reason, and I have to respect that. I have an office upstairs, for goodness sakes. I work hand in hand with the secretary and the president. I mean, I'm blown away. And I got research and development because I started researching things that we were getting in full of donations. As a matter of fact, I'm 100% tomorrow, and she's open tomorrow. I might go down and go through those 2 boxes we just got. 2 big heavy boxes that we just got, plus dolls. One of them is Giganto doll. I don't think I've ever seen a porcelain doll as big as that doll. She thought I banged the porcelain head on the table. No, I didn't. It was the stand, the bottom of the stand that actually hit the table. She was already on the table because I knew she was porcelain. And she's heavy. She probably weighs a good 6 pounds. I kid you not. I gotta look for some markings on her and on the other one to see if they're worth selling online, and check over their overall condition. But that stuff is fun for me. I did the research on the Skylanders and further digging on the Skylanders. The G.I. Joe has sold for all over the place prices to some degree, but most of them have sold without the weapons and all his other accoutrements, all his other accessories and stuff, which he has everything. Complete outfit, ski mask, night vision goggles, 2 different guns, and I believe a bandolier. And I think something else, I'm not sure, but he has everything. And I know that weapons can be worth more than the figures themselves. So having him with all his weapons, I can take the price up just a little bit from the ones that are just the single doll. So that's what I did, in my estimations. The Barbie, ours is mint in package. Never been out of the package. That makes a difference. And you'll see that in sold listings. Just so much. And I have a video game sold if he ever comes to get it. I looked like a fool the other day because he didn't show up, but they would say, no, you didn't. Or when I call myself a dummy, they'll say, you're not a dummy. Or when I don't think that I can do something, they'll always encourage me to try. Like when I didn't think I could reach the board to hold it up because we were trying to build a shelving system that we had to take apart, move into the room, and rebuild it. Well, or reassemble it, I guess. It's a better way of putting it. I didn't think I could reach the top shelf to hold it up. And they encouraged me to give it a try. Guess what? I could reach it. So, I'm so blessed. And of course, I have Bob, Diane, Candy, and Dawn. Diane, Candy, and Dawn were the people I knew would be here to some degree. You know, they all live a distance away. But Bob Stebbins has really been here. He's been amazing. Ouch. Oh, man, that hurts. Anyway, I just wanted to thank those people for helping me through and for moving me on. You know, I've been able to move on, even though, gosh, it's hard. You know, there are times when I look at this and I just want to hug her. You know, there are certain things that, yeah, I can go hug Bob because his brother just died. And Chucky, of course. He was so sweet. Chucky was patting me on the back, almost on the bum. It wasn't, you know, he didn't mean to do that. It was just the way I was leaned down. And he, it was so sweet. But it reminded me of my dad, you know, because my dad would hug me, pat me on the bum, you know, because that was Dad, you know, and the things like your parents' hugs or your parents, you know, I was going to say advice, but I got a couple of people who can give me advice that I know sounds just like my mom. You know, thank you for Stephanie. Thank you, Lord, that Stephanie and I got back in each other's lives about a year ago. There was never a bad separation. There was, we moved, you know? My mother adored Stephanie. She loved her. She would be so happy that we're back in each other's lives. And I am truly blessed. And my father would be dumbfounded that I found Dorothy Ann's daughter. That I found his daughter. That I found the people that Grammy worked for. And I'm bound and determined that great Grammy patience, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find out about you. And you're not hiding from me. And I'd like to do it in Uncle David's lifetime. So that's my goal. And, you know, spending time with Renee. You know, she's in a good place. She's educated herself. She's got a professional job. Well, not a yeah, I guess a professional job. She has a career, you know. It's a very physical job, but it's a career. Um, and, you know, in painting. And I just, I'm so proud of her, and I know that my parents are as well, looking down. And my dad was a painter, and before he went to the mill, and even after, on weekends he would paint on his own. You know, you know, he was the guy that would see the elderly lady needed her house touched up, and would do it. And you know, that's just who he was. And most of the people that he worked for, that he painted for, were elderly. And he would do yard work for people later on, you know. You know, when he painted on his own, he mostly did it for elderly people. And he did it for our landlord. Because he must have talked to our landlord, and our landlord knew. When our landlord asked, "Can you paint?" or something along those lines, and my dad, "Well, yeah, it's what I used to do for a living, you know." Something along those lines. I don't know exactly, but he ended up painting all the trim and all that stuff. And my father was, he wasn't fastidious about much, but he was fastidious about his painting. Oh, like I said, I am so grateful for those women, for each of them, uniquely, you know. And it is so neat to talk to Shirley Cooney, because I just knew her as the dog officer that lived down the street from me. You know, to get to know her as a person, as, you know, she was an English woman, is an English woman, and into history and baking, and of course her dogs. So so I've been very lucky. I've gotten to go to events, meetings at her home, and so. And I always have a ride home. I don't even have to ask, you know. Oh, and Dolores. I almost forgot Dolores. How did I forget Dolores? Dolores teases me, and she's just I almost want to say, she's gonna slap me for this, a fun grandma. Um, because she teases me and she has fun with me, and she likes me, and she says I'm a good little girl, and you know, and I am the youngest person there, so it's cute, you know, and I'm so blessed. Yeah, how did I forget Dolores? I call her the money lady. She's a treasurer. I keep forgetting that word. And so I thank God for them, and I want them to know that. So this video is for them. I'm going to make sure that I send a link to all of them in our little group text. So thank you for watching. God bless you as He has blessed me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. No, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Mwah.